Legend of Yufei, Chapter 71.
Let's dive into that opening scene then. It's terrifying. Yulin gets captured by Li Shufu's forces. This is after Yulin actually killed the king's vanguard, a guy named Li. So, not a great start. He's dragged before the king, tied up, probably thinking this is the end.
And the king, Li Shufu, he's not exactly rolling out the welcome mat.
No kidding. He calls Yulin a small, furry insect, tells him to kneel. Now, most people in that situation, they'd kneel. But Yulin, he refuses, stands tall, says he's the son of a high official, and he won't kneel to an Outer Lands Miao person. Oof.
That refusal.
Good.
Yeah, it's pure defiance, but it's also like a calculated risk, isn't it? He's betting everything on his name, his lineage. He thinks that holds more power than ropes and swords right then.
And then he plays his ace card, reveals his identity. My father is the Duke of Wuchang, Marshal Yufei, the one who cleared the Jurchen soldiers at Zuxian Town.
Yeah.
Boom, mic drop moment.
Exactly. Boom is right. The whole atmosphere just shifts. Instantly, Li Shufu's entire demeanor changes. This is where Yufei's legendary status, his posthumous influence really kicks in.
So Li Shufu knows the name.
Oh, absolutely. He confirms it immediately, says he knows Yufei, and crucially, get this, they met at Zuxian Town. And Yufei had actually promised Li Shufu something important, that he'd recommend him to the emperor for enfeoffment, basically a title, recognition.
Ah, okay. So there's a history there, a debt, almost.
Precisely, a political debt. And that promise, that potential leverage, it didn't die with Yufei. It transferred, you could say, to his son.
Huh.
Li Shufu immediately pivots, blames the real enemy, the traitor Qinhui. He sees joining forces with Yufei's son is, frankly, way more valuable than killing him.
And the reaction isn't just, okay, you can go. It's extreme.
Totally extreme. Li Shufu personally unties Yulin, and then right there, on the spot, proposes that Yulin marry his only daughter and become his son-in-law. It's a complete 180.
Son-in-law, okay. But there's a specific term used, right? Watsui.
Yes, ruzhui. And that's critical. It's not just marrying the daughter. Ruzhui means the son-in-law moves into the bride's household. He essentially becomes part of her family, legally severing ties, in a way, with his own paternal clan. He's incorporated into the Li clan.
So what's the strategic angle there? Why specifically Ruzhui?
Okay, think about it. If Li Shufu just grants Yulin asylum, Yulin is basically a political refugee. That's a direct challenge to the Song court. Dangerous. But with Ruzhui, Li Shufu could argue Yulin is now legally his, like an adopted son. He's been passed on to the Li family. This creates this sort of legal shield. It suggests Yulin is outside the Song legal system now, beyond Qinhui's reach. It's a clever loophole.
A political shield disguised as a family arrangement. Very smart. But Yulin is still thinking about revenge, right? He wants to avenge his father, his brothers. He hesitates. Asked to talk to his mother first.
He does hesitate. Understandably, his world just got turned upside down. But Li Shufu insists. He frames it purely as protection. This keeps you safe from that corrupt official Qinhui. He emphasizes the immediate danger.
And others support this.
Yes, the Miao Queen jumps in. She supports the plan. And adds another layer, apparently. Her own nephew, a guy named Heimen Long, had already sworn brotherhood with Yulin's older brother. So she sees it as destiny. Fate bringing Yulin to them after all the tragedy the Yu family faced.
So Yulin is kind of stuck, but in a good way.
Pretty much. He sees the strategic sense, the protection it offers. He doesn't really have other options right then. So he agrees, stays, the deal is done.
Okay, alliance formed. But meanwhile, Yulin's brothers don't know any of this. Yulei, Chai Wang, the others, they come back from a hunt, realize Yulin's missing. They hear he's been captured by the Miao.
Yeah, and their reaction is not subtle.
No kidding. They don't send a diplomat. They just grab their horses, ride straight to the Miao fort, the Miao cave, as it's called, and they basically shout threats from the gate, demanding Yulin's release now. Or they'll, and this is a quote, level this fort, leaving not a blade of grass.
Talk about going in hot. It shows their fierce loyalty, their brotherhood, but man, it's reckless. They have no idea what's actually happened inside.
They're operating on pure emotion, rage and worry.
Completely. But Li Shufu, he's cool. He identifies them, recognizes the Chai King, who's an important figure among them. Instead of escalating, he invites them in. Smart move.
So they go in, explain. They're Yulin's sworn brothers and Li Shufu.
He's delighted. He's like, great, we're all family now, explains the whole son-in-law plan.
How do the brothers take that news? Must have been whiplash.
Huge whiplash. Yulei, probably the leader figure here, tries to negotiate. He says, okay, but can we, Postpone the wedding
Hmm.
until after we get revenge for Marshal Yufei.
Makes sense. Focus on the mission first.
Seems logical, but Li Shufu holds his ground. He insists the marriage is about protection now. It's the shield Yulin needs immediately. And then he delivers this rather cold piece of calculation. He says, look, the Yu family has many brothers. You can spare one for this alliance.
Wow. Spare a brother. That's blunt.
It is. But it underlines the strategic necessity. They're essentially trading Yulin's immediate participation in the revenge plot for the secure base and alliance they all need. It's a tough call, but the brothers see the logic. They concede. The arrangement stands.
So the marriage is locked in. It provides the shield. But you said it also ignites the revenge plan. How does that happen so quickly?
Right. The alliance immediately becomes the launchpad. It happens when the Miao Queen's nephew shows up. He Manlong, remember him? The one who was sworn brothers with Yulin's older brother.
Ah, yeah, the family connection.
Exactly. He arrives probably for the feast celebrating the new alliance, and they tell him everything. About Yufei's betrayal, his death at Fengbo Pavilion by Qin Hui.
And He Manlong's reaction.
Pure fury. The text says his face gets inflamed, he's enraged. He bitterly regrets being too far away to help Yufei when it happened. His personal anger, combined with his position, gives the revenge plan both military muscle and, crucially, a kind of moral authority.
But wait, why can't the Yu brothers just lead the charge now that they have Miao support?
That's the problem. That's the structural issue. If Yu Lei and the others, as former Song subjects, raise an army against the capital, even against Qin Hui, they're just rebels. Traitors. Bandits in the eyes of the court. That's a losing proposition politically.
Okay, right. So they need someone else to lead.
Exactly. And this is where Niu Tong, one of the sworn brothers, has a brilliant strategic insight. He points to He Manlong and Li Shufu. He identifies them as Huawei Jiran, people of the outer lands.
Meaning they're outside the direct control or jurisdiction of the Song emperor.
Precisely. They never held official positions under the Song dynasty. They don't owe direct fealty to this faint emperor, as the text calls him. So if they lead the military action, it can be framed differently. Not as treason against the Song, but as a righteous campaign. A punitive expedition specifically targeting the corrupt official, Qin Hui, for his crimes against the beloved Marshal Yufei. It sidesteps the whole rebellion issue.
That's a very fine but critical legal and political distinction. Using their outsider status as a strength?
It's the key. They lack accountability to the capital in the same way the Yu brothers do. Plus, Niu Tong figures the common people loved Yufei. They'll likely support this campaign, maybe provide supplies, aid. The plan is to gather forces at Taiheng Mountain. Niu Tong's father has a base there, and then march on Linnan, the capital.
Okay, so He Manlong is the chosen leader. How do they actually get the troops moving without, tipping off Qin Hui or causing problems with the Li Shufu right away?
Well, that involves a bit of immediate deception. Speed is crucial. He Manlong gets one of his loyal Miao soldiers aside secretly. Tells him to go to King Li Shufu and report a fake emergency. Claim that the Yao Man, another group, are invading the borderlands.
Created a diversion.
Exactly, a pretext. Li Shufu hears the report, gets angry about this supposed invasion, and immediately orders He Manlong to take 3,000 troops and deal with it. Perfect cover. He Manlong gets his troops, gets his orders, and marches out immediately. But not towards the border. He heads straight for the Central Plains, towards revenge.
That's bold. Using the king's own authority against its intended purpose. Does Li Shufu buy it?
Not for long. He's no fool. The timing seems suspicious. He sends out scouts. The scouts quickly confirm He Manlong isn't heading for the border. He's marched his troops into the Central Plains towards Song territory.
So is Li Shufu angry? Does he recall the troops?
No, and this shows his commitment to the alliance, I think. He figures it out. He basically says, okay, He Manlong is going off to seek a name for loyalty and righteousness. He understands He Manlong is going to avenge Yufei, and he lets it happen. He accepts the move. The revenge mission is underway.
But he keeps Yulin close.
Oh, yeah. He dismisses the other brothers, sends them back. But Yulin, the new son-in-law, stays with him. He's the collateral, the living symbol of the alliance.
Makes sense. Keep the linchpin secure.
Yeah.
So Yulin stays, the troops march. What happens back with the family?
Yulin asks his brother Yulei to go back and comfort their mother, Yu Furen. Assure her he's safe, he's okay, despite being, married off suddenly. The brothers return to where the main family is staying and explain everything to Yufei's widow. The capture, the sudden marriage, the alliance, the revenge plan now in motion.
That must have been a lot for her to process.
Absolutely. But the final piece is securing that family blessing, making the alliance official on all fronts. So Yu Fern, along with Chai Fern, who's like a secondary matriarch, helped raise the boys. They actually travel to the Miao King's place. They meet the princess, Yulin's new wife, this Yun man, and they approve the match.
So full family buy-in.
Full buy-in. It validates the whole arrangement culturally. And the source notes that this connection, this alliance, led to frequent visits. It actually helped ease the family's isolation and grief. It provided safety and connection.
He Li. He works for probably the biggest villain in Southern song history, the Chief Minister Qin Hui.
Qin Hui. Yeah, people listening probably know that name. He's the one usually blamed for, the ultimate betrayal, killing the famous General Yu Fei.
Exactly. And that context was vital here because He Li is basically trapped.
Yeah.
Qin Hui gives him this mission. It's impossible, and it's literally life or death. He has to find and arrest this mysterious mad monk.
Shui, is that, yeah.
Shui, yeah. Supposedly hiding out on the first mountain of the southeast, wherever that is.
And the stakes. Wow. If he fails, it's not just him and his wife who die.
No. And this is the real gut punch, the emotional core of the whole thing. Qin Hui is holding his 83-year-old mother hostage, essentially. Failure means she dies too. That's the leverage.
Just immense pressure. So today we're going to follow Healy's journey. It starts in despair, obviously, but it ends up somewhere completely unexpected, not with an arrest, but like a divine intervention.
Yeah, we're going to see what really happened to Qin Hui, according to this story, and how He Li's intense sense of duty to his mother, his filial piety, is basically the only thing that pulls him through.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning of this journey. Li gets sent off, the clock's ticking.
Right, and he knows every single day he doesn't find this monk, his family gets closer to, execution. He travels for 3 or 4 months?
Yeah.
Just grueling travel.
And gets nowhere. He asks everyone, right? Farmers, merchants.
Literally anyone he meets. Where's this mountain? Who's this monk?
Yeah.
And nobody knows. Blank stares. He's completely, utterly lost.
You mentioned his anxiety isn't really about himself.
Not primarily, no. It's all about his mother. His defining trait is this Shaoxin, his filial heart. In traditional Chinese culture, caring for your elderly parents, it's like the absolute highest duty.
So failing isn't just failing the mission.
It's a moral catastrophe, especially since her life depends directly on his success. It's unthinkable for him.
Okay, so after months of just hitting dead ends, he gets to a crossroads, literally.
And there's a fortune teller, the classic setup, with a sign that promises deep secrets like 8 trigrams seek profound principles, 6 lines exhaust the secrets of ghosts and spirits. Pretty dramatic.
He must be desperate. Does he stop?
Oh, yeah. He asks for a reading. The fortune teller casts the hexagram, and the news is bad. Straight up tells him, this is not good. The road ahead, treacherous and rugged. Basically, turn back now.
But he can he? Because of his mother.
He just can't. He insists. He says, look, even if I die, I have to keep going. And somehow that determination, that sheer filial devotion, it convinces the fortune teller.
So it gets a clue.
A very cryptic one. Take the middle road. Get to Sizu. You'll find who you're looking for there.
Right. So off he goes to Sizu. Does it work?
Well, he gets there.
Yeah.
But still nothing. Days go by, no mountain, no monk. He starts thinking, was that fortune teller just messing with me? He feels totally defeated, maybe even tricked.
This sounds like rock bottom. Where does he go from there?
He feels completely abandoned, yeah. So he tries seeking some kind of spiritual help, goes to the Shanshang temple, but nothing, just silence. And then he reaches the real breaking point.
What happens?
The path leads him to this cliff face. It's called the Rock of Abandoning the Body. Shenyan.
Ominous name.
Extremely. He looks down, and the drop is just terrifying. The text says, Shen Tubu, profoundly and utterly unfathomable. Bottomless.
He considers jumping.
He decides to, yeah. Suicide seems like the only way out of this impossible situation, this guaranteed failure.
Yeah.
But then he stops himself.
Why? What pulls him back?
It's his mother again. It comes back to that core duty. In Confucian thinking, taking your own life is like the ultimate failure towards your parents because you abandon your duty to care for them.
Ah, right. Because his 83-year-old mother depends entirely on him.
Exactly. The instant he realizes ending his life means abandoning her, he just can't do it. His sense of duty literally overrides his despair. It's incredibly powerful.
So what does he do instead?
He just collapses there, sits down on the rock, cries until he falls asleep from exhaustion. And that's where the earthly journey kind of pauses and something else begins.
The divine part.
Yeah. He's suddenly woken up by a push. And guess who it is?
The fortune teller.
The very same fortune teller standing right there. And this time he points directly ahead. And there it is, this huge, magnificent mountain that Heline somehow couldn't see before. That is the real first mountain of the southeast.
Wow. So the guide wasn't just geographical. He had to reach that point of despair first.
Seems like it. Pushed him to his absolute moral limit before revealing the path. So Healy scrambles up to this incredible temple he sees on the mountain. He finds a monk and asks for Yeshui.
And this is the big reveal.
This is the pivot. The moment the story goes from like an adventure quest to deep spiritual cosmology. And it all hinges on the name. The monk corrects him immediately.
Wow.
He says, no, the name isn't Yeshui. He says, it's Ye-Shi. Okay.
It sounds exactly the same to me.
To the ear,
Yeah.
maybe. But the written Chinese characters are different. And here's the brilliant part. If you take the character Ye and you put it together with Shi,
What do you get?
you get a new character, Dai, which means earth.
Whoa. So that's like a secret code.
It's basically the deity's ID card, hidden in plain sight through language. Li wasn't looking for some random mad monk at all.
He was looking for...
A god. Specifically, an incarnation of the Bodhisattva King Kshitigarbha Dezanwanpusa.
Okay, for listeners who might not know, who is Kshitigarbha?
He's hugely important. Think of him as the Bodhisattva who presides over the underworld. He's the judge of the dead, the one who ensures justice is served after life. Kind of like a divine prosecutor and judge rolled into one.
So Healy, clutching his arrest warrant from Qin Hui, he's basically trying to arrest the Lord of Hell. How does that go down?
Not well for Qin Hui. The Bodhisattva basically laughs. There's no argument, no, negotiation. He just lays it out. You're here to arrest me. Let me tell you something. Qin Hui, I've already arrested him. He's down in Fengdu, the ghost city, suffering right now.
Wait, already? So while Healy was still desperately searching on Earth...
Qin Hui, the super powerful chief minister, was already dead and imprisoned in the underworld. That's the story's radical claim.
Yeah.
Earthly power means absolutely nothing against cosmic law. Justice is swift, even if it's invisible to the living.
That must have been mind-blowing for Healy. Does he believe it?
Well, he's human. He needs proof. So the Bodhisattva is like, fine. He calls for the prison master who literally drags Qin Hui up from the depths of hell.
So Healy sees him.
Face to face. Qin Hui is in chains, in agony, completely stripped of all his former power and arrogance.
Yeah.
And right there, the tyrant has to speak to the employee he terrorized.
And does Qin Hui say anything?
Oh, he does. He delivers the line that became famous from this story. It's his confession. He tells Healy, go tell my wife. Tell her my suffering is because the East Window incident has come to light. Dong Tuang Qifashu.
The East Window incident, that's specific. What's it referring to?
It refers directly to the historical accusation against Qin Hui, the secret plotting, supposedly done near an East Window, that led to the framing and execution of General Yufei.
So the story is explicitly linking his punishment to that specific act of treason. It's not just general badness.
Exactly. It's historical justice delivered supernaturally. The story provides that closure. And Qin Hui adds a warning. He tells Healy his wife, who conspired with him, will be joining him in hell soon.
Good grief. How does Healy react to all this, seeing his tormentor like that?
He's horrified, utterly shaken. And then he does something kind of crazy. He actually begs the Bodhisattva to let him take Qin Hui's place in hell.
Seriously, why?
Maybe pity, maybe just overwhelmed. But the Bodhisattva refuses, obviously. And then Healy makes his real plea, the one that matters.
What does he ask for?
He doesn't ask for riches or power or even forgiveness for himself. He just asks for one thing. Let me go back to the living world long enough to take care of my 83-year-old mother until she dies naturally.
It all comes back to her.
It all comes back to filial piety. And the Bodhisattva acknowledges this, that jiaoshen, that deep devotion, that's what saves Healy. Not because he was perfect, but because his commitment to his mother is seen as the supreme virtue. It overrides everything else. He's granted release.
Okay, so he gets to leave. But getting back, is it easy?
Oh, no, not at all. He's led back by an attendant, a server, and the journey back is basically a terrifying tour through the Chinese Buddhist vision of hell. It's dark, yin wind, black fog. This part is meant to really drive home the reality of retribution.
What does he see?
First up, evil dog village, Iguken.
Sounds unpleasant.
Yeah. Think dogs like wolves and tigers, savagely attacking prisoners who are already in chains, tearing limbs, pulling out guts. It's graphic.
Yikes. What's next?
Then they get to one of the really famous ones, the Mountain of Knives, Doshan Du. Imagine literal mountains, but the peaks are all sharpened swords and knives.
Oh.
And there are demons, ox-headed and horse-faced demons, actively throwing prisoners onto these knife peaks. The description is brutal. People getting impaled, heads broken, fresh blood dripping everywhere.
It's like the punishments are designed to mirror the sins. Like backstabbing leads to being physically impaled.
That's often the logic, yeah. Visceral consequences. Heli is just clinging to the attendant, terrified. Then they reach the Nahi Bridge, the bridge over the River of Forgetfulness.
What's that like?
The river itself is filled with naked, screaming prisoners being bitten by poisonous snakes that, peck out their eyes. And the bridge, it's not really a bridge. It's just a single slippery log stretched across this horrifying river.
How does he even cross that?
The attendant tells him, "Close your eyes, hold on tight, don't look down." He basically shuffles across in pure terror, soul and gall scattered, as the text says. Then through a haunted wasteland, past the Ghost Gate Pass.
Where does it end?
They finally reach the platform of gazing at home, Wang Shangtai. It's this place in the underworld where souls can supposedly look back and see their homes, their families one last time.
So Li sees his home, Linen City, his mother.
He does. He sees it all laid out below him.
Oh.
And just as he's focused on that image of home,
What?
the attendant gives him a sharp push. Li cries out and instantly wakes up.
Back on the rock of abandoning the body.
Right back where he fell asleep. Cold stone beneath him.
So it was all a dream.
A hyper-realistic, terrifying dream. But the novel calls it Shen Dao Xin, divine guidance. It wasn't physical travel, but his soul absolutely witnessed the reality of Xin Hu's damnation.
And this dream has real-world effects.
Immediately, Li rushes back to the capital of Minnan to make his report about finding the monk. But when he gets there,
What does he find?
he finds Qin Hui is already desperately ill. Covered in painful sores, the text says Fa Bei Chen Zhong, fainting constantly, crying out. The spiritual torment has manifested physically.
So the arrest in hell basically triggered his physical death throes on Earth.
That's exactly how it's presented. His body's reflecting the torture his soul is undergoing. So Li kneels down to explain about the monk, but Jin Hui, weak as he is, just looks at him.
And says?
He says, Li, that business with the mad monk, I already know everything. He doesn't need Li's report. Hell has already delivered the news, you could say.
Wow. And does this realization change Qin Hui at all in his final moments?
It seems to break him. He actually shows a flicker of, maybe not mercy, but resignation. He tells Li his family is released. Go home, he says, comfort your mother and wife. The terror of divine judgment makes him drop his final act of tyranny.
So Li gets his reward, in a way. What happens to him and his family?
His filial piety pays off spectacularly. He goes home, lives a virtuous life, performs good deeds. And his mother, the whole reason for his journey, she lives to be 99 years old and dies peacefully, naturally, Wu Binger's own.
That's incredible. He literally earned her long life through his devotion. What about Li himself?
Well, he and his wife didn't have children, so eventually, after fulfilling their duties, they both choose to renounce the world. They become a monk and a nun, seeking their own spiritual path.
A peaceful end after all that terror.
And some later traditions even say Li achieved enlightenment, specifically Zuowa death while in meditation, and became known as the Choir Raincoat Taoist. He went from terrified clerk to immortal sage.
It's quite the transformation. And the story ends with that poem, right? Kind of summing it all up.
Yeah, that final punch. If you knew early today that vengeance would come, why struggle and toil in vain before? Basically asking Qin Hui, what was the point of all your evil schemes if this was the inevitable result?